What's up, everyone? Nurse Blake here. It is time for another interview, and this one I'm so excited about. So this is for all the nursing students out there and even some nurses who may want to become a professor one day. I have Professor Crosby. I will pull him up in a second, but first I just want to talk about the supporter button. If you want to become a supporter of my page and the scholarships and awards that I give away, become a supporter, and that will access exclusive content. We'll be able to message and chat more. But if you don't want to become a supporter, that is okay. There's no pressure. You will see all my regular videos. But if you want to support my channel, just click on that blue supporter button. And we'll go ahead and get started. Let's pull up Professor Crosby. What's up?
What's up, Blake?
How's it going? I'm good. How are you?
I am doing well. I had a clinical earlier today, so we had skills lab.
I saw that. I watch your Instagram story. You got some funny stuff, and I love that you engage with the students on there.
Yeah, I try to take a different approach than a lot of other professors. Something to try to integrate the students and just try to mix it up a little bit, do something a little different.
That's awesome. So how long have you been a professor, and what do you teach?
I teach fundamentals. I've been doing it for about a year now, and I've tutored students in the past, even when I was working on my master's. But this past year has been really interesting, working with the new students, working with them in fundamentals. It's fun to watch them grow even throughout the semester.
That's a good. So I remember my fundamentals course. I was in nursing school almost 5 years ago, and I was so excited about the class. But that's when I realized, oh, this is the real deal. There's exams, there's checkoffs, it's happening.
Oh, absolutely. I'm glad you said that, because I tell all my students, you can see them for the first couple of weeks when they come in. They really don't know what they're about to walk into.
What's going to happen? Yeah.
And that reality slowly creeps in. And then that first exam, their eyes perk up. It's pretty funny to watch.
That is so funny. Those of you tuning in, let me know if you're a nursing student down in the comments below, what semester you're in. And if you're already a nurse and graduated, also let us know down in the comments below. I have to ask you, when you were in nursing school, what was your favorite class, and then what was your hardest class?
My hardest class, and I tell this story, my students that if they're any watching right now, they will tell you that the story I told about peds is my worst, my absolute worst subject.
It's so hard.
It is. And even when I worked in the ER, I actually had another girl that I worked with, and she took all the babies and the little kids, and I took all the psych patients, the crazy people. I took them, and we had a little thing going on, So she would take them, and I would take the psych patients, and it just worked out. But yeah, P was always that was my struggle subject for sure.
That's so funny, because I was the same way. Peds and OB, hard.
I just could not pick that up, and I don't know if I wasn't motivated to do it. I don't know. It was just a tough subject for me. But my favorite, a lot of people, I really enjoyed psych. Psych was I'm really passionate about psych too, because I've had family members with schizophrenia, and it's just kind of a passion of mine with psych. So I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, we need more amazing psych nurses. And I know there's a lot of psych nurses that follow me. You guys are awesome and do great work. So keep it up.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What advice would you give to nursing students to be successful in school?
So if I had any advice to be successful in nursing school, would definitely understand that you're not going to study the way you ever studied before. Everything that you've done in the past,
out the window.
Yeah, right. Just forget it now, because and I have to get my students to buy in, my first semester students. That's the hardest part, getting them to buy in, but understanding that the way you've done it in the past is completely different. You need to start thinking critical thinking, multiple steps ahead, what medications will do, thinking on third, fourth, and fifth level type of stuff. So that, and then going along with test questions. I preach to my students so much about multiple test questions. And when I say that, I mean hundreds per test. And some of them haven't quite figured that out yet. And if they're watching,
they're in the first semester. It'll take some time. And they'll be like, you were so right.
Oh, they always come to my second semester students that are in there now. They stop by my office, Mr. Steen. You were.
Oh, wah, wah. We lost you. Oh no. No fun. We will have to get Mr. Crosby back. I don't know what happened. Ah, that is okay. We will try to get him back. Sorry guys, we will give this one more shot, and if it doesn't work, I'll come live and just tell you all my tips about nursing school. Oh, we got him back. Hey!
There we go. Okay. Yeah. I just
You're
hit a
a pro.
rejoin. I don't know. I don't know what's happened. I got good internet and everything. I don't know.
That's so funny. I bet you're getting a lot of messages from your nursing students.
Oh, really? Good. They better be studying.
What time is it on? They should be sleeping. No, I remember I never slept in nursing school. I was always studying late at night.
Oh, I was up till I was so stressed during nursing school that I don't think I slept maybe more than 5 hours each night. I was just constantly studying.
I have one of my supporters, her name is Tanum, and she just messaged me. She's like, I'm kind of nervous because I have IM injection checkoff tomorrow. She's like, I can't sleep. I feel like I'm going to puke. What is your advice to her and her skills checkoff tomorrow?
Run through it in your head tonight. In the morning, I would wake up early and do like a run through and like an actual physical run through of all the things that you're supposed to do. And get tedious and put some pressure on yourself before you go in. Same thing as you should do before you take a test. Put yourself in that situation and push yourself and put some pressure on yourself. That'll help ease that anxiety before you go in there.
No, that's great. I love it. You definitely have to add that level of pressure. And then when you go in, try to, I would put some people put so much pressure on themselves, it could really be hard. But if you practice with a lot of pressure, that will definitely help you be a little more relaxed during the skills. Try to have a little bit of fun.
Absolutely. And that's funny you said that. Like, put the pressure on yourself, but have fun with it. I mean, that's right. I mean, I always try to do that. I always tell my students, look, especially in my lab, I get serious when we have to, but we have fun at the same time. But you have to put that pressure on yourself to learn. That's the biggest thing.
Now, I got to ask you what kind of professor you are. I made a video, types of nursing professors, and I'm going to list them off. You can even create your own category if you want. But we got the super excited one. We got the one who always wants group work, so the group work promoter. We got the fast talker that's always talking so fast and you can't ever keep up with what they're trying to say and what they're trying to lecture. You'll even record it and try to play it back, and you have to like slow it down because they talk so fast. There's a technically challenged one which can't ever work a PowerPoint, doesn't know how to turn on the computer. And then we got the strict one who's really mean.
Yeah, I would be the excited one for sure. But every one of those you just name are spot on, no doubt. I know every one of them. I think I would be the excited one because I do get excited. I think I'm more excited about their test and see how they do on their test than they are.
That's awesome. I know. I think that's great. I could always the professors that really helped me the most were the ones that were super excited for their students in the learning process throughout that whole journey. So I would have loved to have you as my professor.
Yeah.
Where were you? Where were you a few years ago?
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard that before, but it's funny you talk about the learning process. It's a lot like the creative process in a lot of ways. It takes time. You got to make little tweaks here, and you have to look at learning as your own art, especially in nursing school.
Right.
And I try to make that connection with them sometimes, and I think it works, and then sometimes I'm like, it's over their head. They're just tired of being in there for 3 hours listening to me talk.
That's so funny. I know. We got a lot of comments. I love this. I had one of your nursing students, Allie, said that she was tuning in. But I get this question a lot about students who face challenges in nursing school, whether they fail a skills checkoff, they fail an exam, or even fail a class. What are your tips and advice to really overcome that?
That's a great question, because the very first thing you don't want to do is not panic, because I think that happens with a lot of students. They start to panic, they put that anxiety on themselves, and it starts to snowball. So the first thing you can't do is panic, but then you have to take inventory of yourself. What do you really know? Where did you go wrong? And be kind of hard on yourself, but don't beat yourself up. So you have to find out where you're weak at, but you have to do it realistically, but at the same time have some humility. I think that goes up, and have a sense of humor about everything. I think that goes a really long way.
Yeah, I mean, you have to learn from your mistakes in a constructive way, and then you gotta get over it and like keep moving on, keep trucking, get your degree, pass the NCLEX, and really going through that challenge is gonna make you a stronger nurse because as nurses, we face multiple challenges during a shift, and really overcoming those experiences are gonna make you better. So.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. That's a great analogy. There is connecting what you go through in nursing school. You're going to go through that on the floor, and
right.
So how you respond in nursing school will carry over when you get on the floor.
Yeah, no, definitely. What is one thing that you think nursing students can do to really maximize their experience in nursing school?
Engage with the professors. Really engage with them. Don't waste their time, but at the same time, my best students who come to my office, ask for tips, ask for help with study, developing study plans, developing time management schedules, things like that. Very rarely do I have students that fail that come straight to me early on, and we develop that schedule, develop that plan, and they start taking those little tips and implementing them. So I would say engagement with the professor, and don't we do sometimes you're going to have apathetic students. That doesn't play well in nursing. so you might as well, if you are that student, go ahead and try to eliminate that as soon as you can.
No, I love it. What made you want to become a professor?
Love for teaching. I mean, that's really what it boils down to. Love for teaching, helping people, watching people grow. It's the main reason I love teaching fundamentals. I love watching them grow from the very first semester when they come in there, and then at the end of the semester when I'm sitting there congratulating them on they've passed their test, and just watching. I mean, it's hard to explain, Blake. It really is. It's watching them with that excitement, watching what they accomplish through a semester. I get a lot of joy out of that.
Oh, I bet. I mean, you've only been a professor for a year now, so you really haven't seen a class graduate yet.
Not yet.
You're going to be crying. You're going to be so emotional. You're going to be like loving it.
I am. I'm going to be super
I think that's
excited.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
No, I think that's great. So for people watching, we need more awesome nursing professors out there. Like schools really need more professors. So I want to tell them what the most difficult part about being a professor is and what the best part about being a professor is.
Okay, so let me hit on what you just said about we need more professors. One of the reasons we can't address the nursing shortage in this country right now is because we don't have enough professors to fill all the slots. That really is.
Right.
And moving on to that second part about, you said what is the hardest thing about being a professor? Was that it?
Yeah, what's the most difficult, the most challenging part?
All right, the most challenging for me is one when students fell out and watching them go through that emotional anguish. That's really hard. And then on that end, on the other end of that is trying to get some students to buy into what I'm selling, buy into my system, buy into everything that I'm trying to sell them on, especially early on for my fundamental students. The quicker I can get them to buy in, the better they'll do by the end of the semester.
Yeah, for sure. If you guys are nursing students and you have questions, feel free to ask, and me and Professor Crosby will help answer them live right here. Advice to someone who maybe wants to become a professor, but they're not sure to make the move yet.
Before you even apply to get your master's, you have to love to teach. You have to, that's the bottom line, Blake. It's like doing videos or doing it. You can say you're going to do something, but until you love it, to keep putting out content, to keep teaching students, to keep doing all this, you're not going to continue to do it. So you have to love it. And I think that's what separates me from some other people. I've heard of people getting frustrated as being a professor. I haven't felt that one time. I really and truly, I've had hard days and early mornings, but I've never really truly felt like, oh man, this was a terrible day at work. Never.
That's awesome. That. I'm glad you love it so much. I'm sure, it's just like any other job. Like in order to fulfill your job, you have to feel fulfilled at your job, you have to be happy and excited about it. So I bet that makes a big difference in the students. What are your test taking tips and strategies?
All right, so that's a good question too. The test taking, I would, like we said earlier, putting that pressure on yourself. You need to do I say multiple, hundreds of test questions before a test. And when you do those test questions, you need to be putting that pressure on yourself, putting your headphones on like you're on the computer, going to take the NCLEX. You want to try to simulate that test environment as close as possible.
Yeah.
That's the best test taking skill. And also, there's one student probably knows what I'm talking about. Don't go for a long run at 6 o'clock in the morning before you take your test. You want.
Oh, number 2, we lost Professor Crosby. I'm sure he will get back to it. So my test taking tips and strategies is definitely what he said about practice questions. Like, you literally can't do, and you're back. I knew you'd come back.
Yeah.
I was just talking about my test taking strategies. Do a lot of practice questions.
Lots of practice questions, and simulate that as close as possible to test day. As close as you can get to that test day, you need to be doing that at least a couple times a week.
I say with every question, pretend like it's a real patient.
I'm going to steal that and start using that, actually.
There, do it. Yeah.
That's a good one.
You can have it as long as you credit me. No, I'm just kidding.
I will credit you, Blake, at Nurse Blake.
No, I love it. We have another question. Oh, we had a question. What about test anxiety?
All right, so test anxiety, what we just talked about, if you prepare leading up to that, the same way we just talked about, doing those test questions, simulating that test situation, doing all that will ease that anxiety. Like you said earlier, if you put that anxiety on you before the test, like you're really doing it, it will ease that anxiety as you go into the test taking day.
I used to be an anxious test taker, and really, I think my first few classes and my first few exams were like really, really bad. And then I kind of got in a groove, and it kind of got better with time. But as time went on, I was definitely more prepared for each exam.
Yeah, no, that happens. That's the progression I like to see. I told my students the other day, I said, look, your first few tests, I want you passing, but I don't necessarily want you getting like 90s. I would rather you be around that 80 mark so you can constantly get better and push yourself.
80? Oh my gosh. No, I'm just kidding. It's really, right? I think when it comes down to it, grades are important, but they're not the most important thing. I think it's about passion and dedication to nursing, but if you focus more on that, that's going to help you get the grade.
It will. It'll come naturally.
Well, thank you so much for tuning in. Let people know where they can find you.
Oh, yeah. So I have 2 main platforms that I'm on right now. Is YouTube, Crosby Steen, MSN, RN at YouTube. I do a lot of videos there, usually about 5 a week. And then on Instagram at Crosby_Steen. That's my main 2 platforms that I'm active on.
Well, if you guys have any questions about nursing school, send him a message, watch his YouTube videos, follow him on Instagram. Thanks so much for coming on.
Absolutely, Blake. I really appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Those of you who are in nursing school, good luck. And you could definitely check out my YouTube channel also for some videos and tips on nursing school. And you can find me on Instagram. I think I'm pointing the wrong way. Right here at Nurse Blake. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will chat with you later.